Okay, I'm going to try to explain this. That's where my van was sitting the other night when it was robbed. Somebody broke into the back of it, back there through the back doors, got in it, took about $3,000 worth of stuff. But what they took, the only reason I'm doing this video is because you won't believe what they took and what they left. Let's go out this way. This over here, for starters, this was sitting on that mess of wood that I had down there, out of the way, sitting next to this, and they moved this for some reason. Well, the reason is you have to move that if you want to get up close and look in this window where they would have seen me sleeping back in there. And so right down here on the ground on the way to this is my tire chains for no reason, sitting here in the middle of nowhere. And right behind that is one of two hot water bottles that I had in a case. You had to have taken one out and dropped it there. It could not have fucking just landed there by itself. And right here is the lid off a little styrofoam box that I use for a garbage can. You aren't going to believe this. Okay. So as I'm cleaning up the devastation of them having stolen everything and wrecked the whole RV, I start to piece together, or the van. Right here was laying a 357 Magnum, and it had a small towel around it that didn't actually cover it. You see this towel here? It's like a taco shell. It didn't wrap around it, but it would cover it to keep the dust off it. And it's laying right here with the towel around it. This weapon couldn't have fallen here with a towel around it and kept it wrapped up like it was when it was sitting. Oh, everything's different now because I moved everything. But it was sitting up here in the edge of that fucking tray. So somebody took it out and set it right here on the floor. There is no other way. It did not fall down here and roll around, and you didn't roll around stuff so you didn't hear that 357 snub nose hitting the ground. And then while they're robbing my van, they're having to step all around it or step on it. It stays there. Where it was sitting was right about here. Right next to that is an SKS with a scope on it, laying in here barely covered by a sleeping bag. Down here is an AK-47 snub-nosed pistol with a 9mm pistol just kind of under some other stuff. And right next to that is a crate that has my clothes in it, which they moved, and they dug all the way down to the bottom where there's 4 half gallons of vodka. Now you got to picture this. There were 4 half gallons of vodka in there, a 1/4 pound of marijuana right here. They had pulled this thing out of the way and rifled through there. So they know there's a 1/4 pound of marijuana, 4 half gallons of vodka, AK-47, 9mm SKS. They didn't take any of it. Looked right at all of it. Didn't touch it. Right behind me, while I'm stepping around the 357 that magically landed on the ground, inside of that, they're rifling through this stuff. And in this stuff, which is all empty now, in this stuff, oh, they're still there. Where is it? Still here? Shit's still there. There's one of them. Bags like this. Marijuana. More marijuana. Didn't take it. More marijuana. Didn't take it. All my medications are in one of these drawers, including some leftover stuff from a dental thing, hydrocodone, 10 bottles of pills. Didn't take any of the pills, didn't take the 357 Magnum, didn't take what used to be over here was 500 rounds of ammunition. Where's this black thing right here was over here, and this is where it gets really fucking weird, because inside this black leather case was some very important things to me. There was some drawings of my granddaughters did for me, one of which said The Legend of Grandpa, and I had them zipped up in here to protect them, and then next to that is my birth certificates. Come on now. This is where the granddaughter's drawings were, and inside this was birth certificates and death certificates. My birth certificates, my mom's death certificates, some pretty important damn stuff. But you notice what's missing? They left my birth certificates and took the drawings my granddaughters did that said The Legend of Grandpa, my favorite, the most important things in the world to me. They left 500 rounds of ammunition, left 4 guns, posed 1 gun on the floor that can't be used, ignored the important things in here, and took my granddaughter's drawings, cleaned out my equipment, and left me standing here scratching my head. Okay, who did this? Drug addicts? Drug addicts left all those bottles of pills? Drug addicts left all that vodka and all that marijuana? Drug addicts looked at important papers for no goddamn reason. I don't know what a drug addict's going to do with it. And left and took my granddaughter's drawings. You know, I'll tell you what I think happened. I don't believe any of that for a fucking minute. I believe this was an operative with a camera and an earpiece, and he was told what to take and what to leave. You think I'm crazy? Does any of this make sense to you? You believe a drug addict climbed in here to steal my equipment to go buy drugs with and left 4 half gallons of vodka, a 1/4 pound of marijuana, 2 more ounces in there, jars of pills, left them all, only took my tools and a jumper thing and poses this gun on the ground and leaves this insane trail that can't possibly be by accident. So you tell me, which one is more ridiculous? That Chuck thinks some military guy came in here with an earpiece in, showed everybody what was here, showed somebody what was here, and instead of taking my guns and all these drugs and all this shit, takes my granddaughter's drawings of Grandpa with the heading that says The Legend of Grandpa. Now you're listening to a guy who was just surrounded by a SWAT team out in National Forest land last year. You listen to a guy who was surrounded by the locals out there shooting guns and blowing up dynamite to run me off. And now I'm standing here, my tires, just as I came back from that shooting incident, both of these tires on the passenger side were covered. Someone came in here at night and put a patch of yellow chalk about that big all the way around this tire, all the way around it, and all the way around the back one. Didn't bother with the driver's side. No explanation, no reason for it. Washed the stuff off. I'll never know what that is. You tell me. Chuck's not targeted? Yeah, my bank accounts have been hacked. My power utility accounts have been hacked. This was not a theft of my stuff. This was a fucking slap in my goddamn face.